Well, we are pulling up to the camera because it is the week after Easter, Theresa.
Oh.
I'm here with Theresa Shaw, our Executive Director at Emmanuel, and we are happy to see you, even though we can't. I mean, we've been wanting to see your faces, and the only thing we've been able to do is do this live streaming and, of course, the events as this taping, which we're doing right now for Sunday morning. So we're happy that you are online with us. We really do miss seeing you, and we've been doing the best we can to stay connected.
We are.
I want you to know we're not a big media production company here, but we have like a camera or two, and we're trying to not only live stream, but then bring you all of the events in our education and what's happening here at Emmanuel. By the way, you will see in the backdrop here the website. I want you to notice that when you hit, first come onto the website, you will see this, the Emmanuel Weekly Update. And it is at this point that you can drop down on the menu and see what is happening in the congregation every week. A word from Pastor Steve, that's me I guess, is on this, as well as the scroll down to what was the schedule this past week when we went through Holy Week and of course Easter morning. And every one of these gives you options to click on and access the worship service or other information. Now, Theresa, if I can just figure out how to get out of this again here.
Hit it again.
Let me hit it one more time.
Hit it, it'll go right back.
Okay, so now it's back to the weekly update. I'm going to turn this off for just a moment so you can see the beauty of the website itself. Let me try it one more time here. I'm going to click that. Now, here is the home site. And if I take it down just a little bit further, I'm really thankful, by the way, for everybody on the staff who helped put this together. But you can see that we are a church with multiple communities, and what Theresa and I are going to be talking about today is mostly the Congregational Ministries, which means that the downtown church here at Mooring Line Drive, Emmanuel Community Church with Pastor LeBron and goodness, about 100 people that come from Central and South America in our Latino population, and Emmanuel Park, which Pastor Will is going to be out there and doing some marvelous things in the weeks ahead. So this is the place to come to get information, and again, a lot of our education, Bible studies, and what Theresa and I are doing with you this morning are also a part of what we hope to keep accomplishing during this time of the coronavirus. I wish it was over already, but it is not. Let me just update you quickly on this past Easter Sunday. Theresa, I don't know if you're aware, but on the live streaming Sunday, we had about 1,300 people that watched at the 9:30 service.
Oh, I know. I was watching it.
Were you there?
I
You were
watched
one of
the
those.
numbers.
That's right. You were watching yourself.
I was watching myself. So that is so exciting.
Yeah, I think it was 1,300 to 1,400 people, and not only our Florida people, but we had people from Michigan, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, Ohio, Wisconsin, Illinois, Louisiana, Indiana, and I heard too, even a couple people from foreign countries were watching.
Oh.
So we're really happy that no matter where you are tying into our services. And we will be doing this, of course, as long as we need to with the coronavirus. It is also the case that Pastor LeBron at 11 o'clock last Sunday had the Emmanuel Community Church together, and they had about 250 people. And of course, with these numbers, you can sometimes double it with the devices that have actually picked up the services. So my point is we've got a broad landscape of people that are still joining us in our ministries here at Emmanuel Lutheran. So the other thing, as we talk about how we keep the congregational life moving and the stewardship of our ministries, we're going to discuss that more. It is the case that we have been trying to stay connected, Theresa, with people. You've been making phone calls.
We've been making phone calls, and we've been doing emails.
Right.
Joyce has been keeping the choir engaged through various emails. We've been getting music so that we can listen to various types of music, and so it keeps us all inspired and going. So
some of the small groups that we've started are staying
the dinner
connected.
for 6 and 8 groups are staying together, and so
Well, I got to tell you, one of the funny things is I mentioned this to Theresa, that the first time I started making phone calls, because I've recorded some messages in the past, some of the people that picked up the phone thought they were simply getting a recorded robocall from Pastor Steve, but I was actually there, and so I've really enjoyed the conversations as well. And it is our hope to maintain phone connections, and you certainly call the office because we check in for our messages, and we want to continue to do ministry effectively. In terms of the how we are doing with the overall stewardship in the congregation, of course, we talk about the time, the talents, and the resources to do our ministries. It is, well, we're doing pretty well at this time. I guess have to kind of turn to you and realize that you might be doing your stewardship in new ways now as well, since we're not all coming here. I know we're greatly appreciative of the community organizations, St. Matthew's House, Grace Place, Habitat, and all of those that we have been supporting, stewarding through the years. When it comes down to our congregational ministries, I think it would be helpful to report out to our congregation kind of where we stand right now. You know, the technical matters of this are we have an operational budget that we look at every year and monitor that in terms of our needs and what our expectations might be. Do you want to say a little bit about that?
I do.
Right now?
First, I want to say hello to the many faces of Emmanuel.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just excited to be able to speak to you in your homes and just thank you for all the continued. I mean, everyone has continued to help us in many, many ways, and we certainly thank you for your continued prayers as we get through this time, a time such as this.
Right.
I want to tell you that we appreciate those of you who continue to send in weekly your tithes, your offerings, and your pledges. You know, I think a little bit about when we talk about giving, it always takes me back to Matthew 25:14 through 13. And it was about the parable of talents. And you know, what we have to understand that it's a perfect example how God, He entrusts in us a lot of money and things that we can do His will, not so much our will, but His will. And so we are so appreciative of the support that we get from our members.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's every week.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at this year, as we talk about our budget was $2.2 million. And we are still, we're halfway there, not almost there, but we're halfway there. Right now, we have over 175 people who have pledged. And last year, our total pledge number was 214. So we still have a ways to go, but you know, we're excited. We know that people give as they have to give. And so we are thankful for that. I also think that it's also a time that we respond to God's call to serve and to love our neighbors. And like Pastor,
especially now.
Yeah, especially now. And like Pastor Steve said, there is a need at our Grace Place, Harry Chafin, and so we're doing a lot of things to continue to support people in our community. We're trying to work with helping people who are in need of financial assistance to support their bills, and still, you've seen the lines. If you've seen the lines,
you know,
for
Theresa,
food.
yesterday I got an email from St. Matthew's House. They sent it to me personally for the congregation, thanking us for the support we've given to St. Matthew's because they've been distributing food.
Yes.
And there was a picture of all the cars coming through St. Matthew's receiving that. So that's an example of how we've been doing it as you described.
Right. So we have, even though we have a long way to go, we've been blessed.
Yes, we have.
And so our offices, we continue to work. We have a staggered work schedule so that we can continue to keep our distances, our social distance of communicating, but making sure that the operations are taken care of at Emmanuel Lutheran Church. So I just want to thank all of you once again You know, stewardship means so many things.
Yes, it does.
But at this time, it also means food on the table for people. It means help in paying bills and supporting those people really who need us the most.
Yeah, yeah. Can I tell you something else about our ministries and mission at Emmanuel right now? We have some new things sprouting up now that are happening. You know, I got to tell you a little side note to this. Yesterday I went home and my wife Maria was putting these little plants out in the lanai. I guess she's trying to grow kale and lettuce and all this stuff in the backyard now, or at least little pots that are out there. But as I saw these little sprouts coming up, I got to thinking too, and I don't want to say something we haven't really have all planned out yet, but Pastor Will and Dee, we're going to go out to the park tomorrow because there's some discussion about maybe even trying to do worship with a drive-in ministry at some point. Now, I'm not promising that right now, but it's just an example of some ideas and things that are sprouting in terms of our ministry and mission here at Emmanuel. So with that, as you say, Theresa, we are grateful for the resources that help make the ministries happen and the development of new opportunities. By the way, I need to ask you, so anybody who's watching this today, how do they make contributions to the church at a period like this? Or what, is there any ways that are new and helpful?
Well, let's talk about some of the ways that you can continue to get your contributions to us. We have, when you had the pop-up, you can also go, there's a donate.
Let me pull it up here, let me get back to it. Well, right there, way up
There's
on
a
the
donate,
top right-hand corner.
Right, there's a donate now, right there. And if you tap that donate now, it will take you right to the area.
I'm going to do it.
Okay. And you have the site where you can donate. So you can use, you can go in and you can follow the donations. It asks you the Emmanuel General Fund. It also has academies and communities. And then you can just tell us how you want to give, and you just go through the prompts. Mm-hmm. So it's a really basic and simple way to continue to give. And also, we are working on PayPal so that we will have a PayPal link. And for those of you who are familiar with that, you can pay that way. And we're always available here at Emmanuel Lutheran Church, so you can send your checks here to our church.
Well, that's been happening too. I come in and check the mailbox, and I realize that some of you are still, using the envelopes, writing a note and sending it in. And so, whether you do it that way or online, we are just tremendously appreciative of the way that we share ministry together, especially during this time. I mean, life's going on, and there's some new struggles and challenges, and we obviously keep our hearts mindful of the prayers for the community at a time like this. As we had a staff meeting this morning, and we went around and not only checked in with members of the staff, but we thought about what's happening out in the world now, praying for all the healthcare workers and people that are really doing some marvelous help on behalf of the entire community. Anything else we need to share?
Well, no, we're just thankful for all the support that we can continue to do God's work. And we thank you for your prayers. We ask that you continue to pray for us so that we can do the work.
That's right.
Again, thank you for all that you continue to do for us as we move forward to do God's work.
And we miss you, the faces of Emmanuel. So let's stay connected this way as long as need be, I guess. And then when the day comes and we see you again face to face, we will rejoice all the more. So from Emmanuel Lutheran Broadcasting, it's Pastor Steve alongside our Executive Director, Theresa Shaw. Thank you, Theresa, and enjoy the week ahead.